Alright, hello. Today we're going to be going over cross product. So before we start, any variable you see with an arrow on top of it means that it is a vector, not just a variable. And anytime you see an I, a j, or a k, that means that they are a unit vector, which describes how it's moving in the x direction, y direction, and z direction, respectively. We have a1 multiplied by I, which you can see, a2 multiplied by j, and a3 multiplied by k. And we have the vector b, which is the same thing, which is b instead of a. And we're looking for the vector c here being a cross b. So it's important here that you use multiplication as the dot, because the cross is an x, which can get a little complicated if you use extra multiplication. So for the next step, what we're going to do is we're going to set it up like this. We're going to have the I, j, k as the x, y, and z, and then we're going to write down every part of the vector. So we have the a1, a2, a3, b1, b2, and b3. Now, all you have to do is basically treat it as the determinant. So what we're going to do is we're going to look for I to start. So we're going to cross out this row, and we're going to cross out this column. We're going to be left with I multiplied by the matrix of A2, A3, B2, and B3. And now we're going to find J, which will cross out the I, the J, and the A2 and B2. Which, if you remember, you have to use subtract here, because we have to alternate between positive and negative. So we're going to have the unit vector j multiplied by the matrix of a1, a3, b1, and b3. And now we add plus k being multiplied by, and then we're going to take out the a2, a3, and the b3, and the I and j, leaving us with just a1, a2, b1, and b2. Now from here we're able to solve for the determinant. So we're going to have the right diagonal subtracted by the left diagonal. So we're going to have I multiplied by a2 multiplied by b3 minus a3 multiplied by b2. And then we're going to have minus j being a2. We have minus j being a1 multiplied by b3. a1 multiplied by b3 minus a3 multiplied by b1, so a3 multiplied by b1, and our last one I'll put right here, plus k being multiplied by a1 multiplied by b2 minus a2 multiplied by b1. Alright, now we have question 1, which we have the vector A being 3 multiplied by I plus 5 multiplied by j plus 2 multiplied by k, and our vector B, which is 3 multiplied by I plus 2 multiplied by j plus k. So the first step is we have A cross B, both of them being the vectors because they have the arrows up top. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to set this up to have it as I, j, and k, all of them having a hat on top, and then we have 3, 5, 2, and 3, 2, 1. Now, we're going to start off with our I. Our I is going to cross out the column and the row that it's in. So we're going to ignore the j and the k, and we're going to ignore both the 3's. So we're going to start it off with having the I up front and we're going to have 5, 2, 2, and 1. So I'll write that down. Now we're going to subtract, because we have to alternate positive and negative, our j. And if we cross out the j, we're going to ignore the I, we're going to ignore the k, we're going to ignore the 5 and the 2. Which leaves us with 3, 2, 3, and 1. Now, as our last one is the k, which if we ignore the I and the j, we're going to ignore the 2 and the 1, and we're going to add k, and the remaining, which is 3, 5, 3, and 2. Now we're going to find the determinant of all of them. I'm going to just put this at the bottom. We're going to have I multiplied by the same thing, the right diagonal minus the left diagonal. I of 5 multiplied by 1, which is just 5, minus 2 multiplied by 2, which is 4. And now we have minus j of, and then we're going to have 3 multiplied by 1, so we're going to have 3, minus, and then it's going to be 3 multiplied by 2, which is 6. So 3 minus 6, plus k multiplied by 3 multiplied by 2, which gives us 6, minus 3 multiplied by 5, which is 15, which will end us off with I multiplied by 1, so it's just going to be I, minus, and it's going to be j multiplied by negative 3, so it's going to be plus 3j, and now this one's going to be minus, and that's 15 minus 6 for the negative, and it's going to be 9k. So after the cross product, this is going to be our answer.